move to call this meeting of Wichita County Commissioners Court order. Everyone please rise. This time I'd like to call on the Honorable Bob Hampton to give the invocation.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for so many blessings. We thank you for always being true to us and extending that hand of love to us. We thank you for your Son, Jesus, who died for forgiveness of our sins. Guide and direct us. Forgive us where we fail you, Lord. We ask for a blessing on our country in this coming election, and we just ask you now to bless us as we do your business here in this county. And all this we ask in Jesus' name.
Amen. Thank you, Bob. Tell Tony the pledge of allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now the Texas pledge.
I honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you. Take your seats, please.
Presentation time.
No, it's not. Not unless we're going to give it to, are you going to receive it for your sister?
Well, I saw it on the news, I thought, I came to watch.
Well, I thought so too. But I called her this morning to check on something else and then kind of say, and she said, well, I'm on vacation today. I'm off with some of my girlfriends playing.
You only told me.
Yeah. All right.
Good job.
Hold her in contempt, Bob.
Wow.
Because I'm sitting here looking at it thinking, I know why. But when I talked to her today to clarify something, all right. I'd ask the court to take action on the consent agenda. I know of no changes unless someone has something to offer or bring an item down.
I've just had one question, I don't want to pull it down, but the quality implement invoice
Okay.
on item 8, what was that?
Well, it's precinct 2.
Let's go to it.
Do you know what it was, Lee?
Well, I'm gonna look here in my backup. I'm pretty sure it's back here.
Bits for shop for trucks. Oh, auger, chain link.
Oh, if that's the auger,
bit.
that is the screw,
Yeah, link chain.
yes. Link chain, auger, and the,
For digging post holes?
yes.
Well, that's a post hole digger, that BT 130, isn't it?
Yes,
That's the actual machine.
the machine, and the auger, and the chain.
Okay.
So you're buying one or that's?
Yes,
Okay.
we bought it already. We've been using the crap out of it.
Judge, I'd make a motion that we accept the consent agenda as presented.
All right.
I'll second that, Judge.
Thanks, sir. Okay, motion by Commissioner Watts, second by Commissioner Waller to approve the consent agenda as presented. Any other comments or questions? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item number 1 on general business, review and approve the emergency and regular bills for payment.
Judge, we reviewed the bills on Friday morning, and I'd make a motion that we approve our emergency and regular bills.
Second.
Okay, now I saw some of them tabbed in there with different notes on them when I went through later, and I didn't.
Oh, yeah, I don't.
Well, some of those little papers or notes that were stuck were
An
either
auditor,
from the auditor saying to,
not to mail the check and.
yeah,
that
stuff
kind of
like that.
I didn't tab one. Did you tab one, Lee? I did. We looked at.
Well, I saw some said not to mail a check. What, is that your all's?
No.
notation?
No, that's
No.
the
Oh,
auditors.
okay,
That's
It
all.
comes out of the auditors.
okay.
The stack that I had was mainly attorney fees for indigent defense
Yeah.
and CPS cases.
I had the indigent health one in there. Precinct one.
I didn't tab it, so it should be good.
Okay.
There was
I
plenty of
pulled,
them, Judge, but
No,
nothing
we-
out of the ordinary.
You did pull 2.
Judge, I pulled 2, but then we checked on it and we put it back
Put it
in.
back in, okay, that's fine. I just saw those notes and I'm thinking, okay, is that, those need to be listed or somehow we did that, but they're okay, all right. I couldn't tell why, but I wasn't here when you all did that. Okay. We have a motion by Commissioner Waller, second by Commissioner Gonzalez. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried 5-0. Item 2 is discuss and consider take action to approve up to 20 hours for temporary clerk work in records management at $10 per hour plus staffing costs to be paid from general fund contingency for up to 8 weeks. The records manager is going to have some unscheduled surgery and will be out depending on how all that takes place, somewhere between 2 and 6 or 8 weeks. And because of what she does, her lifting would be restricted, but doctor told her a minimum of 2 weeks. So this young lady that we have coming in has done this with us before, and both Lori and Patty are familiar with her and felt this was good. So, but we can't leave that totally unmanned right now. We're working about a possible change well after the first of the year. But ask that you all approve that so we have that part-time person there.
So moved.
This will be in the Lindeman building?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep, second.
Okay, motion by Commissioner
Judge,
Watts.
is that for, is she going to FMLA?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Yeah, that'll be, we've already filled out the paperwork, it's all scheduled, but,
Now what's, when they're on that, we pay the insurance.
well, she has vacation and sick leave time, and we pay the insurance during that period. For up to 12 weeks.
And, do we know where she's at as far as on her time?
I think when I looked at it, she has enough time. She's really hoping only to be out 2 to 4 weeks. But I told her she could not come back without a doctor's release.
Okay. Good, thank you.
Yes, sir. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item 3, discuss and consider take action for quotes from GAL Horticultural Services to complete landscaping of north parking lots at an estimated cost of $30,337.25 for parking lot number 1 and $12,302.40 for parking lot number 2 for a total of $42,639.65 to be paid from permanent improvement fund, and authorize county judge to sign notice to proceed letter.
Judge, this has been a subject that we've batted around for a long time, trying to find some alternatives. And I will note, this started out looking like a $100,000 deal.
It did.
And so we've got it pared down to $42,000, and we've looked at several alternatives. The one thing about this particular one, though, is that we are in an agreement with the city of Wichita Falls, and it is not only our parking, but it's also overflow parking for impact. So we agreed when we entered into this contract early on that we would go ahead and bring that up to full city specs, and that's
Right.
what this would do. So even though that seems like a lot of money, this is also for the irrigation system on those parking lots that goes along with the landscaping. And so that adds to the bill, and I'd make a motion that we accept that quote at $42,639.65 to be paid from the PIF fund.
And or the 2016 tax revenue note fund. I think when
Okay.
Commissioner Harvey suggested general infrastructure improvements,
Right.
really go back over that, but I think, I talked to Deb this morning and she asked that question, but I told her I thought that broad terminology would allow us to do that. And just to give you all that.
If we've got room.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
well-
the question.
Okay, I would rather, we have a certain amount of time to expend different portions of that fund. If we spend this now, and then we run short later, then we can come back from the
Fix up
permanent
that.
improvement fund.
Yeah,
But I want to be sure we meet those deadlines, so,
good idea.
I'll second the motion, Judge.
thank you.
I'd like to point out that Commissioner Muller did a very good job of reducing the cost of this landscaping stuff. I believe
Yes.
our first estimates that we got in
Choked us.
were about somewhere close to $47,000 per parking lot. And it was just under $100,000 to get that done. And he put forth a good second effort and got this way down. So I just want to say kudos to that. Thank you.
And it's gonna be a nice effort, and it'll be in good shape, and once again, we did, we entered into that agreement early on in this process. We need to fulfill it and move forward.
Okay. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries 5-0. Item number 4 is just to consider, take action to authorize county judge to sign a letter of engagement with IEA Professional Engineering Services for Bonner Road Bridge replacement in Precinct 2 with payment from FEMA grant and our road and bridge funding may be determined to replace the design work authorized by the Court Order number 15.11.704, November 16, 2015. Commissioner Harvey?
The reason for this contract is that we lost our contract with Cornerstone Engineering after the death of Martin. Our Bonner Bridge project really kind of hit the skids. And we redesigned it 2 or 3 times from culverts to, it's just been a quagmire. But they lost their engineer. And so therefore, they're not going to be doing any more engineering. Cornerstone now is proven, surveying, is what the name of it is. Roger Clement and Danny Brown of TxDOT, the retired TxDOT bridge guy.
Yeah.
Okay, they are with this firm, and
Danny's a heck of a guy.
they can make short work out of getting this thing designed and get it out for bids.
I didn't know the other fella, but I did know Danny and worked with him on the MPO till he retired.
Yeah, Roger Clement is very highly respected as a Jacobs engineer, and he's done work for Willie in the past.
Now, we've gotten a assigned number from TxDOT for the bridge for the qualifying stuff. You've done that process or completed that process.
Let me go to the deal here.
And you're saying this is a FEMA project. I'm not sure what you're...
Well, if we register those projects with
still get
TxDOT,
credit.
we
You
get
get credit
credit
for it.
for them.
On the BRINSAP program?
Uh-huh.
This does have a project number.
I'm sure
Yeah.
it's registered.
Well, it was I'm not sure it's qualifying structure because it wasn't 20 feet long.
Oh, it did not qualify as a bridge in the beginning. Okay? This is a long story if you want to hear it, but
But it needs
It-
to
You
be
had
to
told me
handle
it
the-
before,
does.
that's why I asked.
it had had 3 culverts in it. One was about 10 foot, and the other 2 were about 8 foot. And there's rules on how the culverts are put in. They've got to be spaced apart half their diameter. So 2 of those culverts were more than half their part, which didn't, if they had been closer together, we would have qualified for a bridge. So what I did was I had a hydrology study done on that. And it was going to take 3 10-foot diameter culverts to handle that water through there. And somewhere along the way, FEMA decided that we qualified for a bridge. So all the engineering that we've done previously through Cornerstone was all culverts. So we've been awarded 192.
Yeah, but we all have talked to them. You can't build that bridge for $192,000. They said, well, that's what they project, but they've approved the cost overruns. I'm leery of it, but I don't think we have any other way to go.
Every time I talk to them, I say, no, you're sure?
Did you have your recorder on?
No.
But you need to.
Well, Commissioner, the bottom line is the 3 culvert system won't handle the water.
No.
It's been a problem for a long time.
Don Farmer's been here about 30 years, and he's replaced those culverts out there 3 times.
Yeah.
That's
It's
a
not
big
adequate.
job.
It's not adequate for that location.
So, But we just need to get a contract with these folks so that they can get our design work done, so we can go out to bids to the contractors and get that bridge put in. It's been out since May of 2015.
This will be the biggest FEMA contract that we have due to those floods, will it not?
Yes.
This is the big one. That and my deal across the lake.
Whenever
We
you
have-
road
I got an email, I believe Thursday or Friday, I can't remember what day, that said, hey, is there an update on this road? I said, well, the tadpoles are getting a little bit bigger, turning into frogs. It's still underwater. Okay.
Still underwater. Which reminds me of an
Burnett
old
Ranch
Saturday
Road.
Night Live skit. Yeah. Francisco Franco is still dead. The water is still standing.
Yeah.
That went on for several years. But see, we've got the same situation on my road, the Burnett Ranch Road, where the lake is over.
Right.
And we've got an open pending contract. We don't know exactly how we're gonna proceed till we get the water down. But it will happen. It's just taking some time, so.
If it keeps raining, it ain't gonna
Yeah,
happen. But
absolutely.
anyway, I'd like to make a motion that we accept this contract with IEA.
I'll second that.
Okay. Motion by Commissioner Harvey, second by Commissioner Muller to approve the item as stated. Any other comments or questions? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Just, maybe your item was approved in consent agenda. You're welcome to stay, but I just wanted you to know that. I got to thinking, all right.
If we'd known that, we'd have had her testify, Judge.
Yeah.
We missed that opportunity.
I don't think she has any email servers or anywhere else.
Yeah, probably not.
No. All right, item number 5, discuss and take action to authorize Commissioner Precinct 3 to sign Warren Cat sales agreement in the amount of $5,500 for a used 2007 Belshie
Yeah.
DT 256 2EP 25,500 pound GVNR flatbed trailer, serial number 16JF02027710436441, with payment from budget line 223.230.5 XXX, capital expenditure by transfer from other department 223 supply and operating lines. Commissioner Ball.
Judge and Commissioners, this is a trailer after we got our new backhoe, and having to run that thing out through the precinct is hard on the tires, and it certainly slows the process down. We've been needing a trailer for a long time. Ran across this one at Warren Cat, and actually our local salesperson priced it to us, and then the boss come back and said, no, that trailer's worth more than that, but he'd already made us the offer. So it is a very, very clean trailer. It's a repossessed trailer that was out for a little while. It's just like brand new. It'll be a great piece of equipment for us that we'll use well into the future, and just I think it's a heck of a buy at $5,500. I'd make a motion, we accept it.
Yeah, I couldn't figure
Second.
that out when you. Yeah. Thank you, Commissioner.
We've been needing one for a while. This will fit in really good. We're very lucky to find it.
Even
And,
those little old tandem trailers that
Yeah.
they use for cutting grass, and they're $5,000.
You can't tell this one from a new one. I'll tell you.
Belchie is a heck of a trailer.
Oh, it
for
is.
that.
It's a brand name trailer. This is a good. This is a good buy. We can get our money back on this one just about any time we wanted to. I'll tell you, it's a good investment.
Okay. Motion by Commissioner Muller, second by Commissioner Gonzalez, to approve the item as stated. Any other comments or questions? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried 5-0. Item 6 is discuss and review jail work orders. I left mine laid in the other room. Nancy, don't worry about it.
Well, they're looking better and better, Judge.
Yeah, 42 for the week.
Yeah, I think, as we've said several weeks ago, we're down to pretty much a week-by-week regular maintenance program. I mean, that's about what you're going to find in a regular week. There's, we're talking about a facility with hard use, and right now, I'd say near close to maximum capacity in that. So I'm very proud of our maintenance team and the work that they've done, and it's been a team effort. This court supporting it financially, and I know Commissioner Harvey's been directly involved in that. And but we've got our jail maintenance program probably in the best shape it's been in a long time.
Last week, we mentioned the saplings that were growing up around the building. Lieutenant Bonham,
Got 'em.
they got on that.
Good. Utilize that workforce. We've got them, and they've been a big part of this. They've done quite a bit of work in this too. It's been a joint effort. Everybody's been involved, but we're in probably the best shape as far as our maintenance program's concerned in many years, and that's good.
If you notice there, the second maintenance position was filled. They're in jail school right now, and they'll graduate this Friday.
That'd be
So
huge.
that'll even help this list become
Yeah.
even smaller.
We were talking about transferring the pickup coming out of Constable Precinct 1 to support the jail. Does anybody else remember that?
Yes.
Say that again.
There's a pickup that Constable Precinct 1 drives, but he will go on mileage reimbursement next year. And that will then leave that pickup free. I thought we would, move it to the maintenance department so that they would have a second pickup, since you've got in different areas, you've got custodial uses to go. We probably need to put that other pickup in line to do that.
The sheriff has a multitude of vehicles out there in the annex, pickups. I mean, do you need it somewhere else? Because,
No, I didn't know he had a multiple. I thought he had some Humvees and things, but I didn't know he
I
had.
think there's a couple, 2 or 3,
There's one
Pickups.
pickup they keep,
to pull the big trailer with.
yeah, 3/4 ton.
That maroon one, Chevrolet.
And there's a blue one out there too, blue or blue-green looking.
But it'll help to have that in line, Judge, because you're always running for parts and supplies and
Yeah.
stuff, and I think it suffices very well for keeping things moving. We don't want 2 or 3 people sitting around because we don't have any way to go get parts.
True. Do we need to put that on the agenda, or do we just do it?
We'll just do it after the first of the year when it comes back.
Yep.
We don't want it to get corralled over there in the parking building, and it needs to happen right after the first of the year. Unless the sheriff doesn't need it, then we need to look, see if there's any other place to use it, or we ought to auction it off.
I'll get with Lieutenant Bonham, make sure.
Okay, all right, thank you. All right, we're down to public comment. We have no public left. We have
Much
we have great media left.
Media comment.
Yeah.
No comments here. You guys are doing great.
We never get to hear from the cameraman.
Comments?
I'm good, he said.
Okay. Commissioners, y'all have anything?
Gonna be a busy week for me. We got 2 funerals to attend Wednesday, one at 10 and one at 2. Long-time Burke residents. Kenned about half the whole town, it's crazy, but Don Walker passed away with a massive heart attack. And he'll be buried at 2 o'clock, and then Rosemary Sappington. Her husband Fred has they process wild game, stuff like that, and
Yeah,
make
heard
great
that name.
sausage, but
Yeah.
he was a butcher at United for about 1,200 years, his whole life, I guess. And I don't know, it's just, it's rough to go through all that stuff,
Yeah.
especially when you're so close to those families. We have the Veterans Day Parade, November the 4th, that'd be Friday, at Shepherd Air Force Base. I'm sure everybody got their invitation from General Doherty on that. I did attend a parade out there not too long ago, if I can remember what it was for. That's what Ray and I
That
went.
was it the POW?
POW, yeah, that's what it was. I never, I thought a parade was somebody driving by in a Cadillac waving at you, but a military parade is substantially different than that. And if you haven't ever gone, I recommend that you go, because it was really, I enjoyed it a lot. And those soldiers They had to have trained a long time to be able to do that. It was nearly as good as the Texas A&M marching band. Nearly. Nearly as good. But that's this Friday at, I think, 3 o'clock, something like that.
Okay. Then Saturday
Yeah.
at 11 is the Veterans Parade.
Mhm.
And
Is Monday a holiday?
and then coming up later,
Friday.
City Lights Parade. And I sent you all deal whether you want to do that. It's the Saturday before Thanksgiving. They have that.
Well, we're
So-
fast into that holiday season, Judge.
Yeah.
Judge, you sent a note out about the Fantasy of Lights Parade?
No, City
City
Lights.
Lights.
City Lights.
That's one on. That's what I was just talking about. Saturday before Thanksgiving.
Okay.
They've got a limited number of the Convy Cadillacs. So raise in. Somebody else, they can put 2 or 3 in one of those Cadillacs, but they only have 4 of them altogether. Mayor of Wichita Falls, Shepherd Personnel, and since one of the Channel 3 is a major sponsor, they'll have one.
Media.
So, yeah, you're right. If you're going to do that, you need to let Cynthia Laney know right away. I copied her on the email to y'all. So,
The bad thing about being in that parade, you don't get to watch the parade. That's kind of a neat time in
Yeah.
downtown Wichita Falls.
But you get to throw candy,
No, you
No,
don't.
you
no,
don't.
mm-mm.
No, you don't.
you know?
No,
No.
you don't.
No, I think Burke and Electra are the only places you can throw candy.
I'll park in
night.
Homecoming
And them
Parade.
Oh, you
kids,
can? Oh, I
them
thought.
them kids line up for that candy. They like that candy.
Well,
I got tickled one year at Burke. I had gotten the round candy, the peppermint balls. Well, I was riding with one of the firemen. And instead of taking a handful of them and throwing them out, he was taking one at a time and
Side arming them.
sat on them. I
God.
said, yeah.
it hurt
You see me
somebody.
hit that kid? I said, yeah, that's what I just saw. I said, that's not what we're doing.
Plenty different crowd.
Well, for my first time over there at Burke, we went through there and, right past the reviewing stand, we ran out of candy.
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
I do every year.
And a lot of the kids were hollering, throw us some candy, throw us some candy. And my grandkids, of course, we don't have any, we don't have any. So some big kids came over and gave them a bunch of candy to finish the rest of the parade.
That was neat, yeah. Yeah, well, don't ride. I remember one time we were doing it, and Jerry Luke, when he was mayor here, hadn't told him he was coming, jumps in with us, no candy, but he starts throwing it out.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. And I told him, I said, relax a little on that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Judge, I'd like to remind everybody, Robin's still got some angels down there in the angel tree that everybody does. I picked mine up this morning, but if you haven't gotten one and you want one, say something to her and probably get you requested, whether it's male or female.
how do you tell them angels?
Do what? Yeah.
It's still time for me to get on the tree.
It's angels, sir. Angels.
That's a good
Angel
point.
tree,
Good
yeah.
point. See you training at Vernon the 3rd. Is that Thursday?
Thursday, I think. Yeah.
I believe it is. Yeah.
Thursday the 3rd.
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I scheduled a meeting with TxDOT at 1:30 on Thursday.
That's this week.
Check your calendar.
Yeah.
There was nothing on my calendar, Nancy.
Evidently your intern is not doing a good job.
Right.
He's early voting.
Well, this came out about a month ago. We weren't voting
Oh, yeah.
yet, we were just arguing.
Oh, yeah, we were arguing about it. Hey, just a little note. Tomorrow, November the 1st, the Honorable Bernard Judge Fudge will be 82 years old.
82?
82.
He's got to be 82 because 2 years
He's
ago.
not 82 years old.
Well, no, wait a minute. 2 years ago, at his birthday party, it had a Texas A&M cake. It said "Happy 80th Birthday," and he ate the cake. So I'm assuming that it was correct. So I think tomorrow will be 82.
Hey, but you gotta realize that's an Aggie.
Gonna say, math may be a
Yeah,
little
life's
different.
tougher for Aggies, they age fast.
Yeah,
Math may be a little different.
yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all realize we are looking at our last week of high school football regular season
Yeah.
this week? That's incredible. What happened?
The Burke kids come alive and actually won a football game. And now, next week, they play the #1 team in the state, Argyle. So I don't think they have enough momentum to go to Argyle and do anything.
We
but-
did that one time, and I asked my son, I said, what do you think about playing #1 team in the state? He said, somebody's got to play them.
Nancy, you want to see if
It didn't work out
Meredith is
very
coming
good.
down to a closed session?
Somebody's got to play them.
She is absent today.
She's out,
Meredith
okay.
is?
Donna just told me this morning.
All right,
Sure knows.
we'll live with that. Okay, one other thing, I do have some good news. You know, the 3 homes we had in 2015 flood that were really damaged, one down in Wrangler's Retreat. There are actually 2 there, but the other guy sold his out, and the lady bought it, doesn't want to participate in the program, so they're out. The home out there, the 2 homes out there off of 367 in Huntington, both of those are approved. I have the signed letter now.
Is that the ones on Mariam Lane? Or
Yes, yes, sir.
One there, which 2 were they, Judge?
Well, it's that one there just past the barn on the south side of
Okay.
Merriam, and then
That was
the
the
one
young
that wanders,
couple.
goes back there off Huntington and goes around behind it. You have to know it's
Okay.
there. You see
It's
it
by
driving.
It's by the creek
It's
back
by
in
the
there.
creek.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I know the
Uh,
place.
So those 3, we will have Ms. Whitaker from Austin will come up, and
Now, Judge, on that second place you mentioned there, how much of that goes to the county when?
all of it.
All that property?
We have that property to maintain, to secure. We can, and we did on some of the others, we lease the property for like
Okay.
$100 a year.
When would we lease that?
After it's all everything's done and it's down.
It's got to be
Because
fenced.
that's probably a 5-6 acre tract right in there.
It could be those 2 together. I think they abut each other.
They do, but there's a creek that goes through the middle of them.
Okay.
But the second one you mentioned sits on a little knoll by itself with, you know.
Yeah. And I don't know whether that barn will have to be taken down or not. The house will, but I think the barn is
Could
out of the
stay.
flood way. which-
That's in Wrangler's Retreat.
No, it's on Huntington.
That's on Huntington.
Yeah.
There
That's
is
a
one
pretty
in
big
Wrangler's
building, too,
Retreat.
that
Yeah.
barn, isn't it?
That barn is, and their house was just kind of an extension off of that or something.
Well, there's
They
about,
kind of a
there's probably
modified.
150 feet between them. 100, 150 feet.
Go out there and look at it again. I haven't looked at it in a while.
Yeah.
It was an old place, they just kind of kept cobbling.
Together.
Well,
But it does have, I mean, you wouldn't want to have anything there if the rains came, but it does have ability to make a couple of rounds with a drill in it, and, you know, they've always
Little
run
garden spot.
stuff in there. But it sits it sits on the north side of the creek. What was that old man's name, Barry, that had the old Cadillacs that lived right across the creek on the south side of the creek, and house set real low? The Wheeler boy that moved in there, Mr. McDonald.
yeah.
Does he have kids?
Well, it's the Wheeler boy, this house we're buying. That's Denise's brother over in our juvenile office.
Yes. Now, that's the house you're talking
Yeah, yes,
about?
sir.
Oh, okay. But there's a house in between the 2, Judge, then.
Okay.
That sits way back in there. That's kind of in the knoll of those tributaries that come together right there. But it's a Hispanic couple, or
Okay.
they had
They
several
didn't
kids.
report anything. And we
Okay.
didn't, so, you know, that's.
Okay, the Denise, that's Wheeler was
Mark,
there.
yeah.
Mhm. Mark.
Mark.
That's the house
Yeah,
Mr.
and then
McDonald's
the
in.
Youngs, that young couple, and then
Okay.
the Martins, Jack Martin, that had the pharmacy
Okay.
over in Iowa Park.
I thought his house was done down. It's not.
No,
Okay.
no. They've been in and out, but I talked to them week before last, told them we were expecting the
Jeff's
letter to be
precinct?
signed from the Texas Division of Emergency Management. Nancy
Yeah.
went by their office Friday when she was down for her court coordinator's course, and I had hoped to bring back checks and the letter, but at least got the letter electronically signed and sent to us. So.
Barry, does the McDonald property that we're talking about back up to your mother-in-law's?
Yes, yes, it does. Matter of fact, that's still That whole area out there's ongoing program. I met with Norm Hodges at Pleasant Valley just this last week, and he has got the preliminary approval to get some easements signed through some of that private property that's going to allow maybe some work to be done on some of that drainage, although it's still real sketchy as to who is going to do it and what it's going to take to get that permitted. But I bring that up just to let people know that's an ongoing problem, but we are continuing to work on it as we move along to try to find some relief. You're never going to completely solve the problem because of the lay of the land, but we are continuing to work on it and trying to find some relief if we can. You get one of those major events like we had in, what year was it, Judge?
Well, 2008.
2008, and there's just not much way to avoid that. But,
No.
But the efforts are still there, and I met with one of the homeowners Thursday afternoon. We went over some things and looked at some plans. So just trying to get to the most relief we can, although there's not a real great solution. It's just because of the way things.
2008, that was 15 inches in 5 hours. There's no way to do that.
Concentrated in.
Back on this buyout, as you look at the documents and you see it, you'll see Wichita County's local matching share is $160,000. We will tell the people, and I've told them going into this, we do not provide that 25%. What they hope to do is have money left over out of what's called the ICC, the Incremental Construction Cost Funds, that they'll have enough. Now, I've gone back and asked the state when, in 2007, when we bought Mrs. Flowers' home in Wrangler's Retreat, it was built prior to flood management and prior to the state passing a 1994 policy where anybody buying a house that is in a floodplain, knowingly, they didn't cover for the 25%. But I'm going to try to get that other 25% from the state. If not, the others will have to, and they're aware of that they may not be made 100% whole on that, but the county will not. We will pay some of the costs having to do with the grant management and that kind of thing with the gentleman we hire out of East Texas that made it really work well. So,
You know, Judge, one real valid point of this is be aware when you're buying property. That's something that a lot of times you don't think about. You think about all these different facets. Know where you are and where it is in relation to the floodplain and the floodway, and that's vital information to have. And everybody really needs to do due diligence over that in this day and time, because there are some areas out there where you're going to have problems. And it's really important to check that out and make that part of your process for purchasing property.
well, you need to look inside city limits, because from when some areas were built and new areas, they didn't have the zero detention or zero effect. And there are areas, the lady on Del Rio, and the city is doing everything they can to make alleviation of that. We're also over there, I've worked with them on the stuff off of Kemp right there, where there's that new ER is just to the north of that business and those homes all flood. They had probably 3 to 4 foot of water in them a couple of rains ago.
Right.
But they are trying to they're studying and doing a project on that, and they're working on that. And I noticed they're moving some houses out over there on Monroe where it runs into Kell where that flooding's been. So, they can only handle so many of those projects, but they're trying. Second thing is, we are, unless you all have some other public works, there's DR 4247, does that sound right, Nancy? The latest one that they said we could apply. And
4272.
there we go. At any rate, unless y'all have got something you want to submit on that, we're going to submit for more storm shelters. We've still got a waiting list on those. And we're trying to, we've got one more we've been told we're going to get, but I don't, or 2 more.
What's our number completed now?
Over 400.
Over 400 safe rooms in storm shelter. That's significant in Wichita County.
Yeah. Well, and
That's
the
been a
neat
great
thing,
program.
because how Nancy and Joyce have administered that, we probably only had allocations for 350.
Right.
And they've taken the residual money and got we asked that, and they said, well, nobody's ever asked that before. So they said, yeah, it's the money, not the number of shelters. So that's been stretched into, because not everybody uses up their $3,000. So,
That's a tremendous impact on Wichita County to have that many shelters that we didn't have 4 years ago.
yeah. All right, anything else? Because we do have a closed session item.
Well, I just, Judge,
Yeah.
I wanted to make mention of Raymond Haynes, the longtime mayor at Pleasant Valley, passed away, and his
Oh.
funeral was Saturday.
That's right.
Great guy, and was involved, super fella.
Now, is he any relation to you know, Pumpkin Center is also Haynesville, not
No.
so.
That's Harold Haynes's
Is that who that?
grandparents, I believe.
All right. It
Who's on
is,
the conference?
yes, well, we can go back to them.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, I'm sorry, on jury Mondays, I can't get down there, and I thought I'd get down there.
Okay.
What happened on number 3?
What happened to what?
Did y'all approve number 3, the landscaping?
Yes.
I was just, out of curiosity, my office was the next to be remodeled, and it was my understanding we're out of money on the improvement. And I was,
No.
I looked at that, and I'm like, 42,000.
If you look in the budget, you see Garment Improvement has money in it, and that will either, I think we're gonna be able to use, I think that's listed under the possibilities of what we can use out of the money we did on the tax revenue note for general improvements. So that's in there.
I saw 42,000, I thought that would have gotten the tile paint, and you kind of wouldn't have gotten the desk.
Okay, but that's required, yours is optional.
This was to complete that project. It's not complete until that landscaping is done according to the city code.
With city code, and we have a joint use on those with the city. They didn't make us buy that other lot, so that was contractually had to be done, but we were balking at it when it was $100,000.
We whittled it from near 100 back to 42, so
Yeah, I think those metal trees will hold up well.
that's good.
I was just curious.
Yeah, no. But Patty, part of it is looking to see how this is all gonna flow together. If we go to the Justice Center, what we haven't, talked with you about is, do you need more room or less room? Because those 2 courtrooms could go away. And those courts be in the new Justice Center. If financing, how we look at it, we may do a staging thing on that. Just depending on, we don't know what numbers are going to come out. We don't know whether we're at 40 million or 60 million or more or less, depending on which path we take. And that's why we have architectural firms trying to give us the numbers in a best guesstimate situation.
Yeah.
I know the district judges always wanted us to stay within, with them. And that's what we did, because I know at one time we were supposed to get the 2nd floor, and the district judges didn't want us moving. Now, I don't think it'd be a problem if we stay where we're at.
Yeah.
Because it's all electronic.
Right, and that's the thinking, because no one's mentioned that, but as we move more and more to total electronic. By the way, they're pushing ahead on the criminal electronic records. On the committee meeting I was in Friday.
We're mandated July 1st of 2018.
Yeah. But they've still got some hiccups with it. So, but they go back and forth between the big 6 and the big 10 counties, and then, but the only ones they mention are Dallas and Harris, and then every once in a while Tarrant. So, we'll wait and see how all that works out. Okay, anything else? All right, it is 10:53, and we'll go into closed session, briefing and discussion regarding the lease purchase agreement for real property, and it should be on Highway 281. Meeting closed pursuant to Section 551.072 of the Texas Government Code, deliberation about real property.